given what we've talked about today, what we've watched, the themes of bullying and whatever else, think to yourself, is what's being discussed, could that be used across intervention, coaching, suffering, whatever else?
Why aren't I further along? Why am I such a slow learner? Why does everybody else seem to have things figured out? Looking back at my early career, I had this tendency to see myself as a perpetual underdog, as a struggler. Do you ever do that? Because I was a little insecure at work, I'd over-focus on what I saw as my shortcomings and fall into this woe is me trap. I want to share one of the shifts that has made a huge change in my life, and it's moving the questions you ask yourself from why questions to what questions. So instead of
From why to what? Now, you're going to get an example what she means in a second, but what do you think that would be? Because normally you'd think the shift would be the opposite, change from what to why.
Yeah, normally that's the methodology. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very curious.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Instead of asking, why can't I get this right? You might ask, what about this needs to change? Or instead of, why does this always happen to me? You can reframe it to, what can I learn from this experience? And rather than, why do I have the worst luck? You can ask, what can I do to turn this around? This little shift in questioning moves you from passive to active.
Firstly, regardless of applicable to previous videos, which I'll link somewhere up there, what do you think of the reframe? So we already said normally you'd be changing what to why because you talk about finding purpose. But in this case, the reframe to what creates that much more proactive, driven, narrow banded so you can actually dig yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
Focus. And I really liked it. I thought it was quite powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this kind of touches on your point where you said, did he mind map out the consequences of actions or the actions that were possible to him? And when you reframe and say, what could I do? You start triggering that conversation for yourself.
Yeah.
Here's the things I could do, and in that asking of the what, you go, okay, well, if I did this, this could happen. If I did this, this could happen,
Yeah. So is there anything here then that we could apply to the previous videos?
I think in a generalist sense, these questions should have been applied in that moment or even leading up to that moment, One question that you could ask this guy is, are you the moral crusader who's there to reform the arseholes in the world?
Yeah.
Because if you're always coming from that why,
Yes.
then every situation is a potential escalation regardless.
Yes.
Because you're always looking to sort them out.
Yeah.
You're not seeing it for a bump or a drop of an ice cream. You're seeing it as a moral crusade.
Yes.
And when you're coming from that why, I dare say it might be pretty hard to de-escalate.
Yes. And this is where the writing is so either intentionally or unintentionally powerful because the social helper or whatever the right term is for the anger management thing.
Social worker.
Yeah. They did ask what questions, but they weren't about solving problems.
No. It was, this makes it, yeah, absolutely. So this ties into the commentary on his question. He's like, he didn't ask what questions.
Yeah.
So what could you have done differently?
Correct.
What else could you have considered?
Yeah, it's like, do you like hitting youths?
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. She should have been the social worker on scene in that scenario.
Yeah. So, again, I look at this as very powerful for both coaching and intervening.
Yeah, especially for the coaching reflection, as you said.
Yeah.
He was not given a chance to reflect. He was judged.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he obviously had to double down.
Yeah.
Really good call out.
Yeah, so that's the roller coaster. We've gone through that journey to reach this nugget.
Okay.
All right. Any other takeaways?
No, look, I thought that was a really good roller coaster journey. These topics and situations or permutations of them are unfortunately relevant to us all.
Yeah.
It could be the guy who's being aggressive in the car park. It could be, or girl, it could be any number of interactions, and these concepts apply.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.